Assalamu alaikum, my dear students.
Walaikum salam.
Dear students, in the previous class we were discussing the concept and notion of nations. Nations.
Triangle.
We were discussing some elements that we found the basis of nations, and we touched some elements that are necessary to uh, discuss. It is basis the foundations of nations. So in the previous lecture we interpreted the notion of democratic country. How this democratic country is one of the core element important for the development of nation. This democratic country, as in a detailed description, we discussed and interpreted about the uh, features, like we talked about the freedom, we talked about the emancipation, we talked about uh, the voting power, we talked about the importance of citizen in a country. We talked about some developments that are there in the democratic setup. We talked about the right to equality. We talked about the right to freedom. We talked about right of right to exploitation. We talked about the notions of alienation, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
These things we discussed in an elaborated way in the previous lecture. Now let me add some pointers that are that are in the democratic country, and within the moment of time we will discuss some other elements that attaches to the development of, that are most importantly attached to the development of nations. Dear students, it was democratic. It was democratic country. So this democratic country is actually the country that is based upon the equality. That means that this government is of the people, by the people, for the people. Once government is of the people, by the people, for the people, it signifies people are making the government. It signifies people are absencing the government. It signifies people are giving a sort of respect to the government. It signifies that people are. It is possible only once people will contribute for the maintenance of government. So this point is should be noted. This point should be taken in consideration that this how much people are important in the democratic setup. If any government is working for the betterment of society, so this is the vote of the people who are able to make the government, and this is possible only once people's contribution in choosing the government uh, is possible, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So, dear colleagues, dear students, this democratic setup, in addition, let me provide, let me took in priority one more notion, that is the sovereignty. You know, sovereignty is actually a power. Sovereignty is actually a power. Sovereignty is the supreme power. Sovereignty is the supreme power. You must be aware about the notion of sovereignty in as you, the teacher of social science or any other particular subject related to politics must have mentioned the notion of sovereignty in different classes. Similarly, this supreme is a sort of supremacy, a supreme power, isn't it? So supreme power, for example, if the country, if you talk about any particular country, I talked about democratic setup. Once democracy is relevant, democracy is transparent, then the society is basically uplifted. when I say we talk that very particular society a developed one. One is there is sovereignty is possible, one is there is democracy. Sovereignty is possible, one is there is democracy. One is there is supreme power. Supreme power is there is a connection between democratic setup. There is what I should say connect assimilation. Even I should say a sort of resemblance between democratic setup and sovereignty. These two are connected to each. These elements are connected to each other. This brace, the connectivity of democratic setup and sovereignty makes the people strong. It makes the people strong. It makes the government strong. It makes the authority strong. It makes the bureaucratic setup strong. It makes the hierarchy strong. It makes the what I should say the politics strong. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So these elements, once these elements are strong, they are obviously it is possible that this nation is developed. Nation gets developed. One more notion behind that, the notion of this I talked about nation. These are the two concepts. One is country, notion. Country is we can say country is a nation. Once you had the sympathetic and patriotic attitude towards the people. Once you are lovable, once you are what I should say, you are having some sort of affection, love, and endearment to the people of the particular culture. Even I should say the particular country. That means you are loyal to your country. This loyalty, this patriotic attitude, this what I should say, the culture, that mature culture. Even I should say your discipline, your norm that are in the society, even your doctrine principles that you are following up to the context of the government. You are following the rules and regulations that are meant for the government, even I should say that are being made by the authority, that are for the benefit of the people. Once you are following all these things, once you are, even I should say, approaching these things relevantly and genuinely, then obviously nation gets developed. It is all actually the contribution of the people that make the government possible. So there's not besides these the connectivity of these two, there are some elements that are necessary to discuss. For example, these come also in the what I should say in the category of these two elements. Like, see, one element is I talked about in the previous lecture, technological development. Technological
Development.
technological
Development.
this technological development. Once there is technological development, once there is development in technology, it signifies there is social change.
Change.
It signifies there is change in the country.
Country.
For example, what sort of technological development? What sort of technology? Not all, there is any sort of. For example, there are, I will mention the internet facility, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
The automobiles, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Are you getting it? The communication, isn't it?
Yes.
The roads, the institutions, the buildings, the hospitals, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Once there is development in the technology, and this technology is to be applied in these institutions, then there is a sort of progress for the people, for the society as well.
Yes.
Because I will talk about one example. For example, if we talk of any particular institution like hospital, if we talk about the hospitals, if we talk about the schools, we talk about these colleges, universities. For example, if we're talking a particular hospital, that is the part of the social institution, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Uh, if there are development in perspectives of, for example, instruments, if there are development in terms of persona, if there are development in terms of social aspect, if there are development in terms of cultural aspect, if there are these changes, even I should say the development is in the perspective of this discipline, isn't it?
Yes.
So the management, the intellectuality, the ability, if the persons, the professionals are chosen on the basis of transparency, this form the development of that very particular institution. That is the technology will be used automatically when it be in the sincere hands, when the technology would be in the what I should say the wise persons, even I should that should be in the hands of these professionals. Then obviously the institution will get developed, isn't it? So there is a connectivity. Even I should say technology development is possible once there is connectivity, once there is the connection between professionals that are, for example, a good doctor needs to be there. A good doctor needs to have to contribute for the benefit of the society. If there are good doctors in the these institutions in the hospital, obviously the work is persisting. Work will be genuine, work will be good, people will be satisfied, isn't it? There will be a particular norm, there will be a particular law that is the part of the constitution, that is the part of the democratic setup. Similarly, if we talk about any particular institution like school, isn't it? If we talk of the college, if we talk of the university, this priority should be in consideration. Like what sort of priority? For example, we need professionals. There should be the teachers. There should be the, for example, professors, lecturers. You know, I should say some sort of policy maker that are professionals, that have the caliber, that have the quality to interpret for the development of the society. That have the, for example, if there would be some sort of imbalance in the professionals, there would be some incompetent person. Are this institution able to work? Is this institution able to work? No. There will be confusion, there will be change, there will be some sort of imbalances, there will be unsatisfaction, there will not be social order in that very particular institution. So this is, this has the connectivity with technological development as well. How this is possible? This is possible, for example, I am doing a sort of work. I am professional. Once I am professional, I am pertaining, I am persisting some sort of work. Once I am professional, then technology will help me. If I am not professional, how could I use the technology? How could I use the sort of instruments that are globalized? How could I use a sort of, so we need the professionals, we need intellectuals, we need some sort of sincere persons, we need the sort of patriotic persons, we need the person that are loyal to the society, loyal to that very particular institution. So this instrumental development, this technological development, any sort of technology that is globalized. For example, we had, mashallah, we had the good technology in India as well. We had good instruments. We had good these, for example, teaching aids in the schools, isn't it? Yes. Our setup is, mashallah, genuine. That is up to the mark. You would say you have the facility in the school, like benches are there, internet facilities they were there. Even I should say the ICT labs, CAN labs are there. You are working, you are using all these in a one global setup, isn't it? You had the chance to get connected to every sort of culture. Even I should say the global outlook. You get familiar with the global outlook. You get familiar with the globalized trend, isn't it? This is possible only once there is ICT technology in your schools. So this sort of connectivity of people between these instruments, between all these institutions, it makes possible. It makes the sincere work. It makes the disciplined work. It makes the work what I should say. It makes progressive society, isn't it? So this is all about the technology. Technology level is something more than this. But this short, notion about the technology and the connection of people between this technology and society. How it is possible, how we can make the things possible. Similarly, there is one more point, second point, that is socio-cultural development, isn't it? Socio-cultural development. Socio-cultural, there are two variables. One is socio, second one is culture. These are interconnected to each other. For example, socio means that is related to society, isn't it? Culture is also related to society. Social is related to, for example, it is of people that are interconnected to each other. A web of social relationships. Similarly, culture is a way of outlook, isn't it? A way of life. A way of life, isn't it? There are two types of cultures. We can say material and non-material. Even are you getting me?
Yes.
Material culture is this. We have benches, we have board, we have pen, we have, even I should say, copy, we have technology that I was talking about, instruments.
Yes.
We had, this is also related to material culture, because once we are what I say, sharing this these instruments in the schools, these this kind of material things in the institution. This is all about the material culture. You had the material culture. For example, what sort of material you are using in the society, in the culture. Similarly, non-material culture is your thoughts. I am a Kashmiri. My thought is, it depends upon my Kashmiri outlook, Kashmiri culture, isn't it? Yes, my thought is limited up to this very particular idea, because I am living in Kashmiri culture. So, for example, my feelings, my ideas, my perceptions, isn't it? My sympathy, my love, my loyalty, this all is related to non-material culture, isn't it? Similarly, socio-culture, culture as it also social is obviously related to society. It is the connection of people. It is the web of social relationship, isn't it? I am dependent on you, you are dependent on me, you are dependent on your family, family is dependent on this form of connected, this form of connection. It signifies it cannot the thought of this society, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
This is all, one is there is social culture. What is social cultural development? Social cultural development, obviously, it is like same thing. For example, social cultural idea is you people are having the good society, you are following the rules, norms of the society. You are cultured people, you are moral people, you have the good morality, you have good sense, you have good ethics. This is actually this signifies your culture and society, isn't it? Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
There are, for example, let me say this is technological development, this is social culture. We were in the third notion that is political development. Political development related to politics. Politics is related to what it cannot. This political development is, for example, our system who are who had choose the government. Even I should say the political leaders are there who are working on what I should say. They are working for the betterment of society. So this political development is there are something called good leaders. The good leaders are working. The polity is good. The people who are related to government, who are there in the government, who are heading the government. I should say, who are just making bureaucracy possible, who are making authority possible, who are making all the institutions possible. This is all about any so many what I should say these schemes, policies. This has been set by policymakers, and they are related to politics. It is actually it is actually the political setup that is making nation possible, and that political setup is possible once people would provide their contributions. If I am able to provide some contribution, if I have the power to contribute. I am just I am just electing the transparent, sincere government. Then these things are possible. Politics will always work for the betterment of society. One is there is sincere politics. One is there are sincere political attitude. Even I should say, one is there are professionals who will work for the betterment of work for the betterment of society. But there are so many plans, isn't it?
Yes,
So
sir.
many technology. It comes first in touch with the politicians because politicians are making the governments. They are working like I will talk about the prime minister. Even I should say the lieutenant governor, chief ministers. There in other states. In UTs, there are lieutenant governors. Even the whole this country is headed by prime minister. There are so many cabinet ministers. Even in different parts like agriculture minister, education minister, health minister. Isn't it? Huh? Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
This is all about these ministers are in combined collaboration, working with the heads, and finally these policies get established applied in the society. This is actually the connection of these people with bureaucracy, with authority, with intellectuals, with professionals, and finally quality is possible. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
There should be a good politics. You should choose a government that will work for your betterment, that will work for the betterment of the people. You should not choose sort of government that is, I should say, that would create imbalance. That is not, that will not reach the context of people. That will reach the targets of people. That will not reach to the aims of people. So, keeping this very notion in consideration, you had your role to choose a good government. Then there is social change, even I should as well. When there is political change, obviously it is social change as well. Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
Any confusion?
No, sir.
This is actually one of the part that I need to discuss. That is very necessary to head the nation as citizens. One of these elements are there. These elements are helping you. They are just they are having the what I should say a sort of consolidation in the society. Then we can say this nation is strong. This nation is strong. For example, nation is getting developed. Nation has the strong basis. The nation has the foundation. They have the pillars. But that is possible. All these elements are up to the mark. These elements are coinciding the global trend, global outlook. Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
There are some other changes. We will, inshallah, in the passage of time, in the passage of next classes, or I should say, next lectures, we will discuss some other elements as well. That are for the benefit of the society, that are for the benefit of the country, that are for the benefit of nation. So there are besides this, there are other elements, some more lectures. We will discuss this nation inshallah in detail. Thank you.